First off, great to be back in the Dome this weekend against North Carolina State. I'm extremely familiar with the NC State staff. Coached with quite a few of those guys, recruited one of the guys, recruited a couple of the other guys to Northern Illinois. So excited to go to battle against some of my best friends in the business, and looking forward to that challenge. And then with regards to today, because I know you guys probably have questions, I'm not going to talk about the NCAA matters, other than to say that I had a good trip out there early this morning, got back for meetings and practice today, and feel great about our situation. Feel great about the time, my time here at Syracuse, and we'll just let that process do its own process, or we'll let that process take care of itself and concentrate on this NC State game. So anyway, with that, any questions?
Jacob?
I know you can't talk about what was said or anything like that, but just for you personally, having to travel as much as you've had in the past time, like 24, 36 hours, how much harder does it make your job?
It doesn't. Fortunately or unfortunately, Missy knows. We in college football are used to that type of a day. Get up really early in the wee hours of the morning, jumping on an airplane, running around chasing 18-year-old kids and hustling back and coaching football is just kind of part of what you do. It's what I've done for 24 years. So for me, it just felt like a quick recruiting trip. Except for once I got there, I didn't have to work at all. I just got to be a spectator and watch and listen.
All the kind of indications of this have been that anything they're looking into on the football side has been before Doug, past regimes. Can you talk to that at all?
No. Let me just repeat myself for Stephen and everyone else. I'm not going to discuss the NCAA matters, okay? My focus is now targeted in on one thing, and that's finding a way to beat North Carolina State Saturday, okay?
Do you find that with, being in Chicago, obviously, I know you said that you won't discuss it, but I guess, can you kind of explain what it's like to have one less day to prepare for NC State?
There wasn't one less day to prepare for NC State for me. I just worked a little bit harder earlier in the week. And to be quite honest with you, my preparation for the game is probably the most overrated on the staff. The guys that really do the work are my coordinators, my assistant coaches, the young coaches, and more importantly, the kids. And I just try to manage things, and I'm sure they were glad that I was out of the office for a few hours this morning.
Coach,
Tad?
just talk a little bit about Jacoby Brissett, any preparation for him and also for Noel?
Sure. They have a couple very good football players. Jacoby Brissett, I think, is a very good player. I think before he finishes his career in the ACC that he'll be one of the better quarterbacks. Just my opinion. He reminds me of Ben Roethlisberger, and I coached against Big Ben back in the Mid-American Conference when I was a little bit younger. He's 6'4", 230, maybe 235, but he moves extremely well. He's got to have huge hands. He runs around the ball in the pocket, steps up, he extends plays. He's one of those guys that turns a play that's 3 or 4 seconds long into 7 or 8 seconds. He made a couple plays against Florida State, that were really exceptional football plays. I mean, a couple of the better college football plays I've seen this year. I'll catch the ESPN top 10, and you'll see some of the college plays throughout the course of the week. He's made a couple plays that were really just excellent athletic football plays. So we're going to have to do a good job containing him. I think the whole key when you're playing a quarterback like him is to make him throw it on time. When he does break down, when the coverage is such that things start to break down, we need to keep him in the cage. We have to do a good job containing him on the outside and pressing the pocket on the inside. He does a really good job stepping up through windows and sliding to his right or left and making plays on the run, or just tucking it and moving the chains, turning a pass play into a rush play. Very similar to what I think Terrell Hunt, has done in his time here. He's a big, strong kid that can run through linebackers and defensive backs trying to make tackles. So, it'll be a great challenge for us.
Stephen?
I know we have the injury report coming out tonight, but a couple of week-to-week guys that seem longer. Wayne Morgan
Yeah, they're doing a good job. They won't be ready for this weekend.
Other questions for Coach?
Coach, I'm sorry, I just jumped in late. We're going live outside. Did you have an update on Brisley and what his status is?
Yeah, it's coming out in a few minutes. Brisley and Ashton both will not be available to play this weekend.
Other questions, Phil?
I'm sure you've seen Riley a little bit more than you'd like to, maybe, but how reassuring is it to have someone as consistent as him on the ball?
Oh, Riley Dixon? Yeah, it's great to have a great punter. You know, he's done a very good job. He needs to finish the season off the way he's been going. The best part of his game last week was probably not just the net yardage, but the ability that he showed to put the ball up in the air for close to 5 seconds a punt, which gives the coverage unit an opportunity to get down the field and do a good job, forcing fair catches or no yardage gains on returns. So he's done a great job and very proud of the way he's worked at it and happy for him. He's having a great season.
Stephen?
Is there any kind of update with Alan Edward? Is he still expected to be here in January?
Yeah, that's the plan as of right now.
Do you guys stay in touch with him regularly?
Yes.
Have a relationship?
I sure do.
Tad?
Yeah, can you comment on any preparation for Noel, the linebacker?
Yeah, Noel's a very good football player. I think the thing I like about him is I think he probably is the guy that takes charge of the defense as well. You can see him making calls and getting the guys lined up. They're an extremely well-coached defensive team. Coach Doran, he spent his career prior to being a head coach on the defensive side of the ball. I see a lot of the similar characteristics that I saw in Coach Doran's defenses all the way back at Wisconsin. And that young man has done a great job, makes a lot of good sure tackles in space, and he's a physical football player, as you well know.
Stephen?
Seen today and I think yesterday, a lot of California kids have tweeted that they've gotten offers. Is that something you guys are moving into? Can you kind of explain that a little bit?
Nothing more than recruiting the best kids that we can find, wherever they come from. You know, we've had some good California players. Cole Murphy's done a nice job for us. Deion Goggins, just to name a couple. As we go into the recruiting process, we'll go all over the country to find the best talent that fits for Syracuse. Looking for a great young man of high character that has a great academic. We're looking for young men that can come into the university and excel, not just on the football field, but in the academic, from the academic point of view. And we'll go anywhere we have to try to find those guys that fit that formula. And we're not afraid to open up and go anywhere. Now, with that being said, obviously we've had pockets where we've had good success, and we want to continue to have great success in those areas. But if somebody fits, I don't care really where he's from.
Is there one assistant who's kind of in charge of that area?
No, we kind of work it both positionally and, hey, so-and-so knows this guy, or, maybe we get a recommendation from somebody that played here in the past, which has happened quite often. The further away you get, sometimes there's a connection with somebody that, played here in the past and said, I saw some kid play football Friday night, you got to check him out. And all of a sudden you're recruiting them and maybe getting a shot at bringing them in.
Time for a question or two more, Ralph.
What have you seen out of AJ this week in practice?
He's done a good job. For me, I think quarterbacks show their greatest improvement after a difficult game. You learn more from difficult situations than you do from easy ones, just like in real life, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to seeing how AJ comes out and plays against this NC State team, because I think there were a lot of good lessons that he's taking from the Clemson game, with Clemson being, in my opinion, the best defense that we faced this year. I think that a young guy like, AJ, as well as the rest of the players, can really learn a lot from, a great defense going up against him and saying, look, see how important it is that we're in sequence with our mindset and our systematic approach to looking from 1 to 2 to 3, A, B, and C, all the things that you teach a kid, whether it's quarterback or an offensive lineman. So I'm anxious to get him on the field and see if he's been able to take the lessons from the last game into the next game.
Last question, Stephen.
How's Austin Wilson doing? Has he been cleared for practice?
Yeah, Austin's doing good. He practiced. He was a little bit rusty. He'd probably be the first one to tell you that. But he practiced and got a little bit better Wednesday. And, he's got a big, strong arm. So it's good to have him back out there.
Coach, thanks for taking the time today.
You got it. Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming, everybody.